Online social networking is the biggest social media revolution to have hit the internet in the past 5 years. In Australia, the social networking site Facebook is second only to Google as the most visited internet site, with predictions it will soon overtake the search engine. But the killing last week of Sydney teenager Nona Belamesov after she allegedly befriended a man on Facebook, and the 2007 murder of Adelaide 14-year-old Carly Ryan by a man she met online have heightened concerns about how safe young people are when they network online. Rebecca Bailey reports.
18-year-old Nona Belamesov went missing on Wednesday.
Officers from the local area, homicide squad and police rescue found her body in a creek bed at Campbelltown last night.
A man's been charged with the murder of a woman who went missing after meeting up with men she met through Facebook.
The second man that she was supposed to have met, in fact, is fictitious and doesn't exist at all.
The killing of Sydney teenager Nona Belamesov is the latest tragic reminder of the potential dangers of online social networking.
You can find yourself in a tricky spot if you don't exercise due caution and really think carefully about what information is being shared and who it's being shared with.
Oftentimes people say technology is bad. What's actually going on is it's not the technology, it's how individuals use that technology.
Look, you've got like 5 new messages and oh my gosh, 4 notifications.
The phenomenon of online social networking has revolutionised communication in the 21st century. And for members of the generation who've grown up in the digital age, it's woven into nearly everything they do. Social networking sites like Facebook help users keep in contact, meet people, organise social events and share personal information and photographs.
I'm kind of embarrassed how much I use it. I use it like every day.
It's like a kind of a business card. You know, you're meeting people in a party and, you know, at the end of the night they will ask you, do you have a Facebook?
Sometimes people just do randomly accept people who they really don't know.
The internet allows a scammer or a criminal to gain access to a whole range of people, often outside their own jurisdiction, sometimes very local victims. So the type of criminality you encounter online is frankly not dissimilar to offline criminality.
Clearly, with the explosion of the uptake of technology and the complexity of...
Alistair McGibbon is a former Australian Federal Police officer and authority on high-tech crime and internet security. He warns users to be just as careful about who they meet and befriend online as they would elsewhere.
Ultimately, you are going to be the best judge of whether a person sends the hair on the back of your neck up. If they seem too good to be true, they probably are. And we need to have that level of, I guess, common sense and street smarts about us.
Like some of my friends, or like people I have as friends on Facebook, they have sort of like upwards of 1,000 friends, and I mean, like, I don't know about other people, but there's no way that I could know, like, know and remember 1,000 people. I mean, like, there's only so many people you can kind of fit into your life.
Social networking is a huge fact of life in Australia and, you know, obviously overseas. And the reality is that this is the way in which many people, particularly young people, are now meeting friends for the first time. And so it comes down to teaching the skills necessary to do that in a safer manner. I can't say a safe manner, because I think that would be giving a false sense of security.
Don't get caught up in the popularity contest of who can have the most friends on MySpace or Facebook.
Alistair McGibbon says school campaigns like this one run by the Australian Federal Police are important to highlight the potential dangers.
Once you put those photos and videos and comments online, there really is no taking it back.
Would you post something in the physical world? Would you stand, say, for example, in front of your school and share something about yourself? Would you go to a street corner in a public setting and share something about yourself? If you're not willing to do that in those settings, then more than likely you shouldn't be doing it in the online settings.
Himanshu Nigam is the co-chair of President Barack Obama's Online Safety Technology Working Group, which will report to the US Congress in 2 weeks. He's been dubbed the Marshal of MySpace for his overhaul of security measures on that popular social networking site, and says parents must take as big an interest in their children's online activities as they do in their other social interactions.
We are capable of keeping ourselves safer We just need to have more dialogue around this, and every sector needs to be involved in that dialogue. Not just the technology industry, not just parents, not just law enforcement, but all of us working together.
Launched by Harvard University students in 2004, in just 6 years, Facebook has exploded to become the biggest social networking site in the world. If Facebook was a country, it would be the third most populous nation on Earth after China and India, with more than 400 million active users.
It's probably bigger than we could even possibly understand. This is probably some of the most concerning data from this report.
Julian Dooley from Edith Cowan University advises the federal government on cyber safety. He says young internet users are particularly vulnerable when they share personal information online.
So the more information that you put out there, the greater the potential is for people to find that information, and possibly people that you don't want to.
I do have my birthday on there, which is a bit of a scary thought in reflection.
Facebook users and cyber safety experts alike argue Facebook's privacy settings make it difficult for users to secure their personal information. A Quit Facebook campaign has sprung up, putting pressure on Facebook to provide greater privacy protection.
It's actually quite hard to find on the profile. Like, you have to sort of go into go into a different menu, like off the home page, and then it isn't like sort of right there saying privacy settings like on the home page.
Now, if you don't change your default privacy settings, your personal information is shared with your entire network, and that will include people that you're not necessarily friends with.
There's been an outpouring of grief for Nona Belamesov. A Facebook site dedicated to her memory has already more than 12,000 supporters. Facebook issued a statement in response to her death, saying,
"Nothing is more important to Facebook than the safety of the people who use our site. On Facebook, there are a variety of measures people can use to protect themselves from unwanted contact, and we strongly encourage their use."
And Nona Belamesov's death has made some young people think twice about the type of information they share online.
I'm so nervous about it now. Like, I'm seriously going to go home and take off like my hometown, and I don't know why. I don't know what is the worst that could happen, but I am like a little bit nervous.
Rebecca Bailey with that report.